Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. The Blue Jays have been fishing for a star, a bat, somebody, Corbin Burns, Bregman, Alonso, Soto, last year Otani, and finally somebody took the bait and signed with the Jays. And it's Anthony Santander, switch hitting outfielder, who cranked 44 bombs last year. Blake, you've been crying all off season, begging, and just looking in the mirror every day in depression of
Yep.
why this team can't land anybody. And
Yep.
they finally did.
Yep.
How are we feeling right now?
Yeah, I was actually I had a little nap this morning. I woke up early, had a little nap, and you FaceTime me and you said, You got one, buddy." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And you said you got Santander. And I was like, wow, I mean, it's about damn time. That's all I gotta say. The Jays have been trying to find a four-hole hitter to put behind Vlad since they traded Teoscar Hernandez in 2022. So it's been a couple years. Vlad hasn't really had much protection. Now you go into Bo and Vlad's walk year, and all of a sudden, the middle of the lineup looks pretty dangerous again. And it's the Jays went away from their I guess power offense. They focused on more defense, right? They brought in Varsho and a lot of guys like that, Kiermaier, and now they're going back to a big power bat in the middle of that lineup. Santander is a good fit. He just turned 30 years old. He's got the second most home runs in the AL to Aaron Judge since 2022. So it's everything that the Jays lineup needs. Now, this move as a Jays fan doesn't make much sense if you don't parlay it with the Vlad extension. I think you got to extend Vlad for this move to make a lot more sense. Obviously, it's a good fit, but you obviously don't want to have Santander as your main piece around your offense. Like you want Santander to be like a complementary piece to a Vlad and a Bo, and just the list goes on. But it's been a very, I guess you can say, patient, calculated off season for the Jays. They've obviously thrown a lot of money at guys, and they ended up landing a big guy here.
Yeah, I mean this is a interesting contract too.
Yeah,
We'll go over to Ari right here, who had the figure dollar figure, and this is a pretty complex contract once we get into it.
yeah,
It's a 5 year deal for 92.5. We come to find out there's deferred money,
yeah,
and also on top of that, um, there's an opt out in this deal that wasn't originally reported. After the third year, Santander can opt out if the Jays then can block that and add that sixth year option. So,
yeah.
with the deferred money, with the option, with the opt out, it does bring down the AAV, which we'll get to in a second here. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's kind of a strange deal. One thing I would say is a year ago they went and got Justin Turner.
Yeah.
39-year-old Justin Turner, who's coming off those Dodger teams that, we're going to the World Series, winning division titles every year. He was a good veteran presence, and he was a 1.5 WAR player last year, even in
Yeah.
his 39 season. But, I mean, he only hit 11 homers,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And we fast forward a year later, and now you're going to go get Anthony Santander, who it says on Fangraphs, and we'll get there in a second, it says he's going to play left field.
No, he
I
ain't.
don't imagine playing left field. This is your DH.
Yeah,
I,
I
I
agree.
know that he played 140-ish games in right field last year, but man, it's hard for me to believe with the dollar figure that he got
Yeah.
at 18 million after a 44 homer season that this isn't for a DH. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. It's when it came out that Santander went to the Jays, I'm like, oh, like how, like the story with the Jays, they have to overpay to get guys there. And when I saw the dollar value, I was like that's pretty tidy work by the Jays. It came in a lot lower than I expected. He was projected to make 6 years, 142 million. That's like 24 a year. So well under his projected number. I think it was on MLB Trade Rumors they expected that number, but yeah, it's he's gonna be your DH. Obviously, you got Springer right. You got Varsho, who probably missed the first few weeks of the season in center. They still got work to do. There's no doubt about it. Will Wagner's not gonna be this team's DH. Um, but you look at this lineup now, top four, pretty damn good now. Okay, you got Jimenez slots down. You go out and get a Verdugo, Profar. They're linked to Alonso right now. They've been linked to Bregman. I think that's a little unrealistic. I think Profar Verdugo makes a little more sense. Where they're at, they're already at $263 million payroll wise right now too, which is the highest they've been in a long time. But
Yeah.
yeah, like they're spending money, and you said it. You were talking off there. You said they spend money, but they just haven't really spent it correctly, and that's the Jays to a T, right? They invested a lot of money in this pitching staff. Now that you bring in a guy like Hoffman to anchor down that bullpen, and now they had a much needed middle of the lineup bat, but they definitely need at least one more bat to go.
Yeah, strange on here. They do have it as 18.5. I
Yeah,
think it was reported that the AAV will actually be around 14 with the deferred money,
yeah.
which isn't on here yet.
Towards the
So,
tax, the tax AAV is 14. Yeah,
right,
yeah,
right, towards the luxury tax.
yeah.
So, um, interesting. I mean, crap. I mean, even though it's a year, 10.5 on Chad Green. I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. Maybe it doesn't.
Yeah.
Again, Barrios at 18 million, like you said. Bassett 22 million.
Mhm.
Do they move Bassett? I know Alec Manoah's hurt, but it's
Right.
22 million right there. I just don't know how comfortable this franchise is spending even more. I mean, this is blows out of the water where they're going. If they go out of Alonso, you're approaching $300 million, and they've never gone that far. And quite honestly, even if they did that, yep. I think it's gonna do it for this one. If you like this video, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. As always, we appreciate you guys for listening and watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Later.